Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We're here with another team outlook. This time it's the San Diego Padres. Last year they were 93 and 69, but they've lost some key players. Notably Jerkson Profar, Hassan Kim, Tanner Scott. They also lost Higashioka, Perez, Peralta, and Ahmed. They did bring in Jason Hayward, Martin Maldonado, Nick Pivetta, Connor Joe, Gavin Sheets, Yuli Gurriel, Nico Goodrum, and Kyle Hart. Underwhelming offseason. Go check out our offseason grades to see where we put this team, but I'll give you a little teaser. It was not a good grade. Yeah, I mean, they try to replace Jerks and Profar with Joe and Hayward. Luckily, they were able to land Nick Pivetta in the very end of the offseason to maybe salvage it, but with these issues with the ownership, it's looking like a bleak future, at least the near future for now. But they do have some star power still to get them through this year.
Yeah, obviously you still got guys like Tatis and Machado, and you signed that mammoth of a contract in Bogarts, and the emergence of Jackson Merrill really helps this franchise. He kind of bursted on the scene and kind of anchored down the top of that lineup. But yeah, I mean it's going to come down to health, right? With this team, if you lose a Tatis, his team is in trouble. So. Yeah, like they could use another bat in the outfield. Obviously losing Hassan Kim is a big loss. You mentioned it off the top. That's kind of a fan favorite, kind of a glue guy in that locker room for them. So, it's definitely going to be interesting. Obviously, this is a team that's kind of in the shadows of the Dodgers, right? They're kind of their little brother. That's what always is what's going to happen. So it's a very confusing team. Obviously, you got guys like Cease and King who are on expiring contracts as well. So if the season doesn't go the way they want to, you can flip those guys for pieces. But I on paper the pitching rotation's pretty good, but there's only really a couple guys signed long term in Darvish and Pivetta. So it's an interesting route, but this team on paper is still good enough to compete for a wild card spot, I think. But I think they definitely could have had a better offseason.
Yeah, well, let's dive deep into it. Here's their lineup projection via Fangraph. Arias, Tatis, Merrill, Machado, Cronenworth, Bogarts, Hayward, Elias Diaz, and Tirso Ornelas. Their bench will be Capusano, Joe, Rosario, and Wade. So you hit the nail on the head there. If they lose a guy like Tatis or Machado for an extended period of time, which you can say for 98% of the MLB,
Yeah.
then they're going to probably be in a tough position. The depth is lacking in this team. It's a much different team from last year. Their depth even last year wasn't the best, but they were able to get through some things. In the rotation, they do have Cease, King, Darvish, Pavetta, and Kyle Hart. Should be very, very serviceable. If not a top 10 rotation in baseball, if all those guys stay healthy.
Yep.
Joe Musgrove is out. They did lose Tanner Scott in the bullpen, but they do still have Robert Suarez, Jason Adam, Estrada, Matsui, Jacob, Peralta, and Hoeing. Um, yeah, I mean, I think this team will compete. It is going to be tough having to deal with the NL West and the D-backs, who got Corbin Burns. Might be a step ahead, but I do think they are going to be in the mix for a playoff spot. Fangraphs has them as a 35% chance to make the playoffs, and they have them at 82 and 80. Personally, I'm going to go ahead and take the over on that. I think they are going to win over 82 games. With that said, make the playoffs. Man, I think the National League has just gotten significantly better.
That's true.
All off season, it felt like the AL is kind of the weaker league right now. So with that said, I'm gonna go borderline. Will the Padres make the playoffs? Because of the depth, I'm gonna lean no.
Yeah, I'm gonna go no. And honestly, this might be a hot take. They might win under 82 games. Like I don't know, man. I don't know. It's the pitching is good enough to win them games, but the lineup, the bottom half of that lineup is it's just not good enough, especially in this division, how top heavy it is with the Dodgers and Diamondbacks. I They're gonna compete, but I don't think they're making the playoffs.
I think their lineup is top heavy enough to win them games.
Yeah.
It just comes down to depth. And if Tatis does get hit with the injury bug, which we know is kind of in his game, Machado's coming off of some injury from last year as well. If they lose any of those guys, it's going to be a tough go for them,
Mhm.
and they just don't have the depth right now. But I'm going to lean no for now. Obviously, we'll do check-ins throughout the season,
Yeah.
see where we're at. Maybe we're completely off. Maybe this team surprises us. They do have the star power to do it, but as of now, I do think they will win over 82 games. But I think they'll be just outside of the playoffs. I think they'll be about 85 wins, and I don't think that's going to be good enough.
Yep. No, that's perfectly said.
Alrighty, guys. Well, that's going to do it for this one. If you like this video, make sure to hit that like and subscribe. As always, we appreciate you guys for listening and watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Later.